channel here on Subscriber. Thanks to everyone who has supported that computing live stream fund. So George Takei, Sulu, Star Trek of the oh my fame, he had that one line for some reason stuck in people's memory. So he says, over the next few months, whenever you see it, he has Trump derangement syndrome, if you don't remember, and also William Shatner derangement syndrome. Though to be fair, both those people seem like I could understand why some people, why they'd be hard to deal with. But like to have this derangement for years is a bit weird. Like where you have to stretch so far to find every little silly thing, as we'll see. Over the next few months, whenever you see a tweet about Hunter Biden from the GOP account, ask them what they're doing about crime and inflation. Well, this goes along with something else I've heard when people on the left say. They look at this past 2 years under Biden. They go, "Oh well, things would be worse under Trump. I thank God Trump isn't in office. We have Biden at the helm, that very shaky helm, to steer the ship." And I look at him and go, "But Trump was in office for 4 years. He had a shot, and love the guy or hate the guy, he did fine. The country, or whether or not you want to entirely divorce the causation of his actions from the result of what the world and the country was going through, fair enough. But objectively, you can say like things were on an even keel, to maintain the metaphor. I didn't mix metaphors that time. Things were on an even keel. I mean, he didn't score a touchdown every time, but it's like they weren't just constantly fouling. There you go. Things are not doing so well under Biden, and this is the mass Trump derangement syndrome. To go, oh, so defund the police, social workers. Suddenly, what are they going to do about crime? Jesus, my brother in Astroglide. You were this party that said defund the police. What happened to that? What happened to all those social workers? Defund the police. Oh well, the city's turned into dystopian nightmare hellholes. Just insane. Oh, so stop Asian hate, George Takei. Would you like to scratch? Don't say anything in the comments. Would you like to scratch the surface on that? It must be the Trump supporters doing that. Yeah. It must be those Jussie Smollett Trump supporters. Hey boy, get on over here, little Asian man. This is San Francisco or Oakland. This here is MAGA country, boy. I'm gonna rob ya in San Francisco and Oakland or Chicago. Yeah. Stop Asian hate. What happened to that? Hey, what happened to hashtag Me Too? Oh, well, we were getting the wrong. Never mind. Just move on. Don't say any comments. Just never mind. So suddenly you want to be tough on crime and inflation. Didn't Biden like a year ago print $40 trillion, more money than ever been in existence or something? And to be fair, that's a bigger issue. It goes back to 1913 and 1914, the Federal Reserve and the World War I. So we're going to start a series of endless American wars or Western wars. And essentially it's like this extractive economic model where you create debt slave cattle to fund bankers. It's this extractive model. You take tax money to put it in the hands of bankers, and like the country, you look at these graphs of like consumer price index and like buying power of the average American citizen, like essentially the American dream, and then the debt increase and the devaluation of the dollar, and they go, oh, crypto, and he goes, yeah, so hasn't that, I'm not a big crypto person either, but like crypto is positive and the dollar is devalued by 99% in the past 100 years. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Actually, that shrinking dollar, that's what it means. It's essentially the shrinking American dream, but there's a lot more to it than that. But they never seem to, if you're in an echo chamber, you never get any pushback. You go, yeah, things are not as you believe. You've been led to believe something by very, very bad people. Anyway, so now you want to suddenly do something about inflation. Well, you can't print money if it's not backed by anything, and what happens if you have more pieces of paper that people want, but it's not actually backed by anything tangible? Well, the individual value of the paper goes down. It turns into paper. It turns from currency into paper. That's why the dollar has shrunk. Like, what was it buying? No, there should be no inflation in a stable economy. I mean, over 100 years. No. Look at the graph since 1913. Oh, we need temporary taxes to pay for this war. Or if we can't afford the war, we probably shouldn't go into debt. It's like that shouldn't. It's a bigger issue, but the thing is now the country has so many little problems with it. Like, oh, we're just gonna buckle in and fix these little. No. That's why I keep saying like country needs to split in different little regions, and the reason that terrifies these puppet masters is go, but who is going to take the debt? Oh, another thing they talk about is they go, oh, the debt's not Biden's fault. All the countries are in debt. And I look at this and go, so if all these sovereign nations are in debt to the private banking industry, I look at all the nations and go like, they don't have to be in debt if they don't want to be. You could just all the nations could get together and say, we're going to run the banks ourselves, and take the banks away from the, I'll say, Red Shield family, um, and just cancel all these debts out. You're saying like all these countries owe money to a small handful of bankers. Well, the countries can simply cancel that. It's like for the good of the country. Yeah, everyone could just run their own banks. You can't have a world that's enslaved to a small group of bankers. That's insane. Too much for YouTube? I don't know. I think I avoided some hot words. I mean, they like you could do that overnight by saying like every Western country says, yeah, we're just going to run our own banks. We don't need these. We don't need these banks in one central location to run banking. I mean, it sounds like kind of like not connected to tinfoil hat, and you realize like no, it seems to be really connected to this one point. Like, so all the nations are in debt, and you go, to whom? To whom? To whom? And why don't they just snap their fingers and say, "Oh yeah, we're not going to be in debt anymore." To it, like we're just going to take that money back to the nations. It's like you could literally do that almost overnight if you wanted to. No, you couldn't possibly do that. You couldn't possibly what? Write your way out of slavery? It's like yes, you can if you wish, if you want to. More money for Ukraine. Uh, anyway, crime and inflation. So these are left wing policies that that exploded under Biden for past 2 years, but now suddenly they're an issue for George Takei. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next episode.